Let's take a look at our match number 3. Group standings for Group A. This is our first decider match. It is going to be Shikigami versus YFP Gaming. Of course, in Group A, they had Toronto waiting at top. Now, it's the decider match. Whoever wins will go up alongside with Toronto Defiant.
Yeah, both of these teams were sacrificed to Toronto Defiant a little bit earlier in the group. But no, Shikigami, that 3-2, right? That's with Danny playing for Toronto for the first 2. And then once they get back to full strength, it's kind of all Toronto Defiant. But that doesn't really kind of say anything negative about Shikigami. They looked pretty good. Everybody kind of falls to Toronto Defiant in the end.
Yeah, I appreciate as well that like they're upholding the time-honored strategy of get more Koreans if they want to like find some success here in this region. Obviously, they have to quote-unquote import slots to work with, and they brought Fleta in as like a coach, right? Like that's been talked about a fair bit. Obviously, getting reverse swept by Lenny time is like not really like the way you want things to go, but you know it's fair, right? That Toronto Defiant team, once they had their full roster, like they are so experienced. They have got literal years like under their belt as this team. I still felt like you know, Toronto, you know, being no matter who they are, that's fine. But I do think that like that Shikigami team means business, and it's about time to get started. Might be too late though in terms of making a huge dent and getting it in towards Stockholm. But hey, I'm here for it anyway. And here's your YFP gaming team again. A team who sort of battled through this bracket, and there's a couple of interesting prospects on this deal. I think Ade is you know, someone who I'm keeping my eyes on purpose. I think they were on Sin Priester at one point, so. Again, I want to see what they're capable of doing. I do feel, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like Shikigami here, like they've got a structure, they've brought in the coaching staff, like they're really serious about winning, and I don't think that like exiting this group is remotely acceptable to them.
They're trying to take it at a little bit you know, different level, I feel like, than they have in the past, right? Potentially, I would say for Shikigami, but YFP Gaming, we watched them last weekend, I know 3-0 Tanuki, right? That was a Nepal Junkertown Kings Row game. That was Mitch, you were the Junkertown. We saw them play May the entire. They picked May, and Junkertown just played May the entire time. It was one of the more odd things we've seen.
Okay, you know what? That's fine. We saw teams in Asia playing May in like the Diva comps on Circuit Royal, so I'm alright with a little bit of that. I just don't know about on first, but hey, May's been played everywhere at this point. It's fine.
Yeah. I'm actually surprised how much Shikigami is favored compared to YFP. I felt like it was gonna be pretty even, but it doesn't look like
who did the people take in the last game? Didn't they take Absolution, right?
They did. That Absolution, 52-48.
Oh, really?
I mean, yeah.
They lost.
I mean, if you combine the score of Danny's and the viewers, you know, just in the last few days, I mean, it's stonks are down. But I feel like though, Shikigami does have the upper hand in this one. This one, I would side with the people. I would side with the people here.
All right, let's find out.
Question, Danny, like if they took on Toronto with Lenny from the start, it was probably going to be a 3-0, and we'd be sitting here like, well, it's kind of hard to get a read on this team. I don't really know, because they've not shown a whole bunch, but yeah.
But it's Toronto, right? Well, yeah. I mean, now I feel like it's more of an even field. But hey, let's find out. The players are ready. It's time to start the match. Mission Matt, take it away.
I wouldn't hold it against anybody getting 3-0'd by Toronto. I mean, no. it happens to literally just about everybody. I mean, those maps that they lost to Shikigami were the first 2 maps they lost in groups in all 4 stages.
Yes, I don't even care about that result, honestly. I just don't care about it at all. I'm more interested. Both these teams managed to sort of roll over that Tanuki squad pretty comfortably. So that's the only metric in terms of making direct comparisons. I thought like Ade was really, really good in YFP's last outing. So like I said, someone I'm watching for, but the Shikigami DPS duo are very flexible. Both Taejung and Sonjun can play Tracer. We've seen them throw it around and mix it up a little bit when they want to have some sort of flank pressure. I think this team is, like I said, legit. Anion, she's been great as well in that back line. So a lot to hang your hat on for Shikigami, but this is a decider game. Only one team can get out of this group alongside the Defiants.
Quite interesting. Both teams go with the Pharah. So we were joking in the last series, you know, how the Pharah stonks here potentially on Lijiang are quite down, but both teams go with the Pharah. But Ade picking up solo here at the start. Ade with who? As they opt to go with the Cassidy instead of comboing it with a Tracer. So no, Taejung not really able to find much of anything, but on the other side though, that Cassidy comes up huge.
Yeah, that was brilliant from Ane. Great opener. And again, just neutralizing that Pharah pressure as early as humanly possible. Trying to keep Sunjun out of the game. Because look, even in a lost fight, like Sunjun is well ahead in terms of ult charge, hitting a lot of those rockets. It becomes a real problem as the fight starts to drag on a little bit. Ski are very, very low there. Ane also might be caught out. Taejong's looking, trying to get into the back line, maybe work towards that mega. There's the dash out here, just running loops inside the dojo here, but Hinged is going to deal with them. And now Luke is feeling some pressure of their own. Shots on the solo are good though. Gonna be forcing a Fortify out of that Orisa. Graveyard though down. Shikigami really running on fumes at this point. They get the Pharah at the least, but unclear if they're gonna come out with much more than that.
Yes, another fight here that YFP, this one a little bit more costly, right, in terms of, players' lives back and forth. They end up losing a few here, but Shikigami, they desperately need a fight win. This is going to go over 50% here for YFP as Sunjun just looking to see if he can put some damage down on some of the players coming across the bridge. Keep himself in the air.
Okay, definitely dodged here by both sides. They can keep an eye on Ade here. Definitely in a power position, force the fall back. Oh, do they see this coming out of absolutely nowhere? Sunjun descends, gets rid of Ade here, and good damage in the follow-up meant that Hinged had no shield left to work with by the time Solo came to call. Nice little set play there for Shikigami. Dropped the Pharah in. And that's going to get him the point flipped.
Yeah, Sunjun comes from the high ground, right? We're watching him for a while, and then we watch him come down to earth, and then that time goes right over the top. On top of Ade and has no idea that barrage is coming. They do end up using the Onion Orbital right here, so YFP does have a little bit of a window, right? Double support ult coming on in. I know all 5 ultimates here available for YFP.
Oh, Taejong. Looking at a big pulse here. Boy, how does he stick that? Ade just blown to smithereens instantly. That basically unravels what YFP are trying to do here. Luca at least has the armor to get out alive, and the rest of YFP immediately turned tail once they lost the Cassidy.
Yeah, but that pulse bomb's huge, right? It's going to buy them percentage on the point, also allow them to get some of these ultimates back, or closer to these ultimates back that they ended up using in that previous fight. So, pretty...
What?
I mean, and he takes out... Taejong takes out... Never mind, I mean, that is huge, right? That's 2 fights in a row. Taejong comes up massive for Shikigami, which is going to get them right back in the game.
Taejong realizing that they're the one that has to kind of fight the Pharah, I guess? At that range, at least? Putting a ton of pressure down on them. We were on their point of view just beforehand as they were like loading clips into that Pharah over and over again. Good pressure generated there. Luca trying to step up now, caught inside the Terror Surge. The long-range barrage here. Never mind actually able to find Solo with it though. With the Orbital Ray, I think YFP doing a little bit of heavy lifting there, if I'm honest with you. But Ade wants to play inside of that as much as they possibly can. Turns ahead, sees Taejong starting to threaten. Onion's already built up another Ray, by the way. But that's a flip back for YFP, and it should be a cleanup here.
And Taejong just keeps them in it, right? This is one that we'd be on to the next point is, YFP would be in complete control, but the play from the Tracer, Shikigami, gives them an opportunity at least here going to final fight territory where Solo gets hit with a spear. Gonna get healed up a little bit, but has to cross this bridge.
Okay, they want to go forward there. Okay, very, yeah, Onion just pops back up from the abyss and gets shot in the face by Ade. Good little recovery there. Orbital Ray here now for Shikigami has gotten well and truly past them. Thanasis is awkward. Running out of time here. They did get a flip back at the very least here. YFP are attending to that now. And Shikigami going to have to run in and just drips and drabs here to keep the round running.
Yes, let's see who's here.
Or not.
Oh, Onion almost able to get a touch there. It looked like Taejong or Sunjun triggered OT. Looks like it was Taejong that triggered OT, but not able to get the second person back onto the point to keep it rolling. So really fun first round that YFP ends up taking.
And Ade continuing to show us why they were player of the match previously. The Cassidy played very, very clean. And Shikigami also opting out of having the Cassidy at all. Taejong, maybe the issue is not that Shikigami have 2 Tracer players, but only the one Cassidy individual. If they can't play Pharah Cassidy, then that might be a little complicated. Genji's going to get coming in here, of course. We are playing Control Center for our second round. So a little bit closer quartered here. And Shikigami with all the tools in the book to get out of spawn as quickly as possible.
Let's see, what do you think Sunjun plays? Okay, so we're going to see Cassie. So a mirror matchup between these 2 teams here in our next point where, honestly, it felt like that YFP gaming. I mean, it's kind of odd to say, like, because the score was so close. I feel like they were in a complete control of it, and it was just like 2 really awesome plays from Taejong that was able to get Shikigami back into it. We'll see if that kind of continues here potentially on this next point.
Just Tracer heroics, really. Sonjin's well out of position here. Trying to roll back, and great response to Solo to get in between his Cassidy and the rest of YFP. Luca goes very low now, so YFP are fighting on the back foot for a moment. And that's going to allow Shikigami to take some space. That's exactly what Taejong is looking to do here. That shield very, very low for Hinged, and they just hung around too long. Happens to Bree sometimes. She tries to peel, get defensive, and ends up being the one caught out instead.
Yeah, the start here much better for Shikigami. I think Sunjin just putting down so much damage. Where YFP, they were forced to back up. Luca constantly, without that armor. That's why Hinge was so close, right? Trying to protect the Orisa, knows that they lose that Orisa. There's no way they can fight over the point. This will be a Deadeye here. They just escort him out, and that's going to be a kill.
Yeah, it's going to buy them a bit of extra time. Shikigami the first to take the point there after an elongated early engagement. Ski, though, has built up that orbital array. Both sides, obviously, with that in tow here. Just the Deadeye, really, the only big difference in ult charge between these two, but Sonjin got his value for it. And here's Nevermind now being a nuisance. Again, that mid-range poking with the shurikens to build that blade. Dash in, force that armor off of the Orisa, but inside the orbital ray, that's going to be recovered pretty quickly. Deadeye for Ane, though. This will force awkward positioning now out for the blue side. Lets it go. It's a Venn diagram of massacre as Solo finds 3 with the Terror Surge. And they were perfect, both DPS and the Juno. Job done.
Man, everything thrown in there too. The blade, YFP, that is everything thrown into that fight, and they just get a triple kill Terror Surge here. It's like inside the orbital array, a little bit of damage there. Oh, that is filthy stuff. And look at this. Shikigami in their spawn with a blade of their own is, man, this has been a tough one for YFP.
God, and all of this is just the aftermath of that previous fight. The stagger phase ended up stretching out for such a long time here that YFP are going to be in last chance saloon. And Shikigami might opt to go for another Deadeye just to stagger out the defenders, but playing from this long straightaway, it's much less guaranteed than if they fell back to the point and used it there. They're really looking to force someone from YFP out of position and get a freebie. 92 and counting. Good timing on this for Sonjin. Not much choice for YFP to come forward. We've got enough of it all you can chew there. Are they able to catch Sonjin out, looking for a third here? Graveyard, not able to dodge that. What a comeback. YFP are in this game still.
Sometimes you're like, you're going fast. It's like, I want to go faster. I want to go. And then you just ramp up the speed, and you're out of control right there. It worked the last time, right, where you were able to get Sunjin into the other team's spawn door, right, and you get that Deadeye off. That time, maybe a little bit too far there as Ade makes him pay for it.
Okay, a foothold established in the game. Sonjin's Deadeye goes for nothing. Fight was lost ultimately by Shikigami. Obviously the more preferable positioning priority here for YFP. Set up in the middle of the map. Ade does get a tickle by one of those javelins, and here comes Shikigami pushing up now with that speed boost, but it's the Deadeye from Ade. It's going to very quickly make them reconsider. Taejong couldn't get out, didn't have a deflect available, and Ade collects himself another couple quick kills in this fight. Solo's Fortify is about to expire, and so should their life force if they hang around for too long, but the orbital rate came at a good time. Taejong and Sonjin getting back into the fray here, but Shikigami don't have a lot else to work with.
Yeah, so you end up using Onion's orbital ray there, and it gets rally out on the other side. And I guess for Shikigami, Graveyard does have the rally to deal with the blade. Never mind. So we'll see how this ends up playing out. But you also do have the blade inside of the orbital ray. That could be a nasty combo. That's going to be the rally here a little early from Graveyard.
Yeah, Nevermind still plays the blade into it though, but takes a beat, finds a deflect to start the fight, and then gets in when the dash is ready to be used. Solo with no armor means they're dead. Now YFP now get themselves in last fight territory, poised to take the map away after such a slow start to this round.
Yeah, you do have the orbital ray there from Skier, so you're using kind of the tail end of that with the blade to end up taking that fight. And Shikigami, they played much better this round, but still an opportunity to just kind of squander it away.
Yeah, that's, again, something we see with some of these more newly formed teams, Matt. Doesn't always come together when it has to. Sandra gets the speed there from the Hyperloop. That's what I'm calling it from now. Patent pending. It's not copyrighted, don't worry about it. Skier goes very low, yet Taejong able to get in there with the blade. Beautiful. Hinge dealt with comfortably, and that's both backliners out of it. Shikigami might have found their way back into this game. And not a moment too soon, might I add. Keeping Lijiang Tower competitive for those at home that are enjoying it. And YFP are going to have to take it to a third round to close.
Yeah, Luca not fast enough to make it over to the point and get a touch, so That'll be Shikigami evening things up at 1 round apiece. And what I'm curious here, Mitch, is do we see either team go to the Pharah here on this round, right? They both kind of trended over towards round number 1. YFP ran it with a Cassidy. Shikigami kept Taejong on the Tracer for it. It looks like Shikigami potentially running that round 1 comp back, but that's where YFP looked pretty good.
Well, we liked the Cassidy difference from Ade, but I think just an individual performing doesn't make Cassidy objectively better than the Tracer. Ade was just using it really well. Taejong had his moments as well. TP out of spawn.
We also like it because they won, right?
Yes.
I mean, if they lost, I don't think we'd have been raving.
No, if they lost, it would be horrendous.
Yeah.
We editorialize a little bit. We're gonna have some fun. Here comes Ade again, but it's that Orisa pressure that is really important. Tracer, obviously, because of the armor, is a little less effective at doing this. Just poke game to strip that armor away from Solo. Luca, though, suffering the same fate, though, just albeit in a different form. They're mostly sitting at about 50% HP whilst trying to play this neutral game. It's getting a little dicey. Here come YFP. They want to push up into the point, try and get past these fire rockets now. They've definitely made their mark, though. Okay, nice torpedoes there, I think, from Skier. Able to catch on to Ade, who was a little low, but there goes Solo. Eventually, it's just a matter of time, and now, well, Cassidy gets to play. Taejong does well to bring Ade down. Still a player deficit, though, for Shikigami, and they can't get out of it.
Ade made that look so easy, right? Turns, puts some damage down onto the Tracer, then just flips around the other way, takes out the Orisa, and they needed to put pressure on the point because Citadin's not giving them any type of an angle, to put damage down on the far, right? So you gotta kind of figure out a way to maneuver around those far rockets, push on the point, pick up some kills, which they did.
Okay, Shikigami able to recover that previous round after it looked like it was going to get away from them. Sunjun here has to respect the Cassidy pressure. Obviously, that's something that Shikigami don't have to make use of, but the Tracer seems to have made up for it more than. Okay, here come your beams, and they're crossing. The humanity of it. Pulse bomb on Ade. Taejong wins that fight out. That is such an important kill. And he who surges last laughs loudest, apparently. Luca with big damage on Solo. Forced back off the point. Eventually, they're felled by a javelin. Luca very healthy, but the barrage will see to that very quickly. Taejong trying to get back in now as well. Graveyard putting pressure down, getting close to a rally. Eventually, Luca is removed. So Shikigami now can flip, finally get in charge.
Yeah, as just players coming in, just trying to keep this one going a little bit for YFP. That'll be 66% on the point for them as, and now see how they deal with the far moving into the far, right? This is where you think that in the chokes, right, for Sunjun, you can put down some damage and then follow it up. As I look at this, they come to the high ground. Oh, how did they not finish that kill off? I feel like that's when you gotta have.
Far quality of life changes, baby. That lateral movement is what allows Sunjun to get out of trouble. But by all accounts, that should have been a pick for YFP. And they're gonna wish they had that one back now. Shikigami starting to posture towards their spawn. But don't overextend.
Dude, they're up there with like 2-3 players, and Sunjun's like basically dead. And nobody can find the last shot. I mean, that's one where you get a kill like that. I mean, that thing opens up.
Ade again peering in, chasing Solo down, hoping that Deadeye will be effective with the damage that was already done, but there it is, another pulse from Taejong onto Ade. That's 2 that I've clocked so far in this round alone. Blade now getting used here by Nevermind. They've already lost Ade, but can they bring this back? Yes, it's Anian who just suspended a little too long in front of the Genji, but Sunshine does well with the conk to take that kill. Ridiculous. Still, there's nothing to do for Shikigami here. YFP have been allowed back into the lead.
Yeah, they have to use just about everything to do it though, right? So for this next fight, Shikigami, they'll have an advantage in terms of orbital ray. He'll have this barrage as well. Sunjun has found some really nice angles on the far. We'll see where he decides to come from here. Is they looks like they want to get aggressive here. Go with the Terror Surge. Did you decide to barrage this? No, at least holding on to it for now.
Lucas forced back, surrounded here. Fire damage. It's going to be a problem. Conk here is want to try and isolate these last couple of players now as we see Hinge is really just trying to back up, keep this shield alive so they themselves can live. 91% for YFP though. Shikigami really need to tighten the grip here.
Yeah, now you can use this barrage as they're trying to move out into the choke as Sunjun knows the players are coming here to the high ground. Doesn't want to stick around for long. Kind of got fortunate the last time as this I may not get as lucky as he's going to get one with the barrage.
That's Ade going down. Again, the Cassidy's really not getting to play the game this round. 87% and counting now. With the Terror Surge available, Solo wants to play aggressive, catch as many as he can in this. Not bad. Skier has to try and get out of that, but they cannot escape. Perfect pick. Taejong falls to some mechanic we won't mention, but they look at least took hints with them. Ade switched over to the Echo here. Solo is in the doorway trying to push up, but that Javelin is stymied by the spin of the enemy Orisa. Graveyard now with Rally in play. No one can really put a scratch on this Orisa Brig combination. And the repair packs are all going over to Sunjun as Shikigami close out a close first map.
Yeah, incredibly competitive map number 1. It looked like for a while that YFP was going to be the one to take it out in the end. It looked like they were performing quite well. Their composition, dishing the Pharah there. I actually kind of was like, I kind of like not having the Pharah in towards the end. But Shikigami with Sunjun and Taejong work it out pretty well.
I mean, Taejong with 2 pulse bomb kills on Ade, both from flanks.
Yeah.
That's what obviously like Tracer offers you that Cassidy can't do. Cassidy gives you that direct pressure on enemy Pharah and also like that real threat against Orisa. Just knock that armor and then she can be run over. But I mean, those impact kills for Taejong really just can't be overstated. Tracer's very good at just staying clear of Orisa and harassing her constantly. So in those fights, as they break down, as you get late into the fight, you've got late fight Pharah, late fight Tracer. That starts to become a little bit too much even for like a Juno Brig comp to handle.
Yeah, it seems like at least at the start, we'll take a look at some of the highlights here where things started off pretty good for YFP, right? When they keep Ade alive, very difficult to deal with him. This play was nutty. I mean, this is a fight where YFP, they throw everything in there. When you lose that and like the other team's up like 50% to nothing, that round's kind of chalked. I mean, there's nothing you could really do about it.
Coming back into that, like there's eventually going to be a fight where your opponents deterministically have like a fight win because of just sheer weight of ultimates, and at that point you can't really do much about it. So you cannot afford to fall that far behind. Winning 2 fights in a row sometimes is enough to give you a round win. So we never saw Pharah Cassidy from Shikigami, but they didn't need it. So we're not sort of going to harp on it. Thought I enjoyed seeing the Genji get mixed in here. Some of this stuff is so brutal.
Yeah.
Taejong able to stay out of harm's way while also just like picking off such important characters here. I love that approach from Solo. See Skier come a little bit too close and instantly smashes Q.
Yeah, some of the plays, on both sides in that first map were just nutty. As you see though, the stats would tell you that Shikigami quite dominated that one. Probably because that second round, right? That's where they were just on fire. Nothing YFP could do there.
No. And again, gave us a good game. I'm pretty happy with what we saw on Lijiang Tower from both sides. I thought, never mind, we're really solid on the Genji. Luca as well, very serviceable frontliner here, so it's clear to see now why this team has made it so far, and I think they've definitely met their match. I think we should have a decent game on our hands now, and YFP also have a opportunity to select a map here. Remember, this is 2 teams that like, I think this group is particularly nasty. I don't think that's like that hard to argue with, considering Toronto Defiant is in the roster, and you have your second and third teams being potentially on level footing. Means that the outcome, especially of this decider match, is tough to call.
Take us to Clash. Why not? Send us back. Take us to Hannah.
No.
That one was insane.
You want to go back to Reverse Sweep Simulator, bro?
Yeah, as Runasapi potentially. That's obviously a fan favorite of a lot of the teams, right? In terms of push, seems to be what everybody gravitates towards at the moment. If you wanted to veer off of this, I mean, you could play, Gibraltar, right? Junkertown as well, but it seems like both teams are very comfortable playing this type of style, and it'll be actually Suravasa. So quite interesting. It's a flashpoint map that has some verticality, right, where you can play some different things potentially.
Yeah, like a couple of the flashpoints, absolutely. I think like comps that play corners well also do well on this map, considering a lot of them are like pretty choke oriented. But yeah, like some have like balconies and a little bit like that to play off of. No reason why I think we see these teams go away from Orisa-based compositions. I think that should definitely be the pick here. On this map in the past, seen a lot of Orisa, seen, Ramatra mixed in here at times. I've often liked Mei comps on Suravasa, just because there are so many of those.
You're an evil person. You like Mei comps?
Just on this map.
Okay.
Yeah, the picks are interesting, right? Because you have like a ton of these archers you can kind of set up. Like in the Ramatra mirrors, we used to see like a lot of Mei, and like maybe they get a little bit old, but
Yeah, a lot of the chokes here are like perfect for like the walls, right? Like perfect size and whatnot. It just blocks off even like whole sight lines at times, right? So, I mean, man, maybe we do see a mix. It's always possible.
Look, less likely in like Juno Genji comps, just because they're a little bit harder to pin down. Why is Anian hacked? What's going on? Oh, never mind.
No, they're not hacking.
Straightforward. Also, we've seen a couple teams like this is a little bit off topic. But we've seen sort of teams mix in Hanzo a little bit because for those that maybe don't know, they've sort of this is a great time to be yapping, talking. Oh, Ash. Okay. I mean, the sight lines on the first point are a little bit longer, so I wouldn't be sort of ridiculing someone for making that pick. It was more common in the Ramatra looks. It's going to be Genji. Genji for Nevermind. It will be actually the Cassidy. So Tracer Cassidy set up here for Shikigami. Taejong on the Tracer. Definitely someone who just loves that hero. It's made them look good. I'll say that much.
Yes, we'll see now. It'll be, YFP trying to get on top of the high ground. I like the Genji here because you can control some of the high ground. You see where Nevermind is set up already. And look how deep YFP goes.
Big damage taken by RA and Nevermind though in order to do this. Now they're fighting on the point properly. Nevermind taken down. So again, Cassidy pressure here for Shikigami. I'm just saying, would have been good against the Pharaoh in the previous map, but they got there anyway. Ooh, they look good here. My goodness. And of course the Kiriko, right? Obviously just that mobility so crucial, being able to deploy that Suzu at a moment's notice.
Yeah, the Kiri definitely provides, I think, a little bit more here on this map than like potentially having a Brig, right? I think more often I do like having the Brig in the mix. I think we've seen like the Brig really pay off for a lot of teams, but where I think this map specifically, lots of high ground, separation, maybe you want to go aggressive. I think the mobility of the Krika definitely pays off.
54 and counting. This is motoring along, folks. YFP spending most of their time on the outside looking in. Good early poke here. You can see he's hitting. Look at those health bars go down, and I'm like, that's Cassidy's work, if I've ever seen it. Here it is. Orbital Ray, though, gets Shikigami out, and YFP won't have a chance to use this until the last fight. And if there's a stagger here, there won't be another fight.
I don't think there's going to be another fight. Losing Luca and Ade that late 90%. This is going to be a first point for Shikigami. So they'll hold on to some good ultimates here going into the next one as well. So YFP, they don't make any changes here as we move forward towards that next flashpoint. I think the benefit though for even the Brig in this type of scenarios, like you're giving up some mobility, right? Maneuverability around the map, probably a little bit of offensive capability. Rally seems to be like really impactful as compared to like Kitsune Rush at the moment, right? You wouldn't say there's like lots of heroes on the Shikigami side. They get like insane value out of the Kitsune Rush. Nice pulse bomb there from Taejun, though that connects on Nevermind. So not even building up towards this blade. I mean, it's still just a little bit over for 60%. I mean, through what, a whole flashpoint, right?
They've just been oppressive over the last two maps now. These pulse bombs from Taejong have been all the difference. Sunjin here as well, just some poke. More than happy to bait people into the point to fight properly. That is a Deadeye from Arda that's interrupted. Okay, Solo though, butting up Old Naked Shoe maybe, or is an Orbital Ray. Oh, I like this idea. He's trying to pull YFP out of the Orbital Ray itself. And they get their kill on Arda at least, but Solo has to give up their life after going for the Terror Surge. Now, ultimately, it doesn't quite pay off, but I saw them run across the Ray itself to try and pull people out of it.
Yeah, and what I think there as well for Shikigami, right? You drop that Kitsune Rush because you also now can maybe help that Arisa out a little bit more, right? In terms of like the cooldowns, because they know as soon as the Orbital Ray comes down, that's going to be the focal point, right? They're gonna go right after that Arisa.
All right, let's run this back then. Up to 30% are YFP. Another pulse here for Taejong. It'll be tough to stick Nevermind during this little ability. Pulsar Torpedo catch on the Sunjin. I often see them. I haven't seen many of them today, at least. Taejong does their work. Pulse bomb to follow it. Oh my goodness, and they got another one. That is mental. Can they do more? Must they do more? Solo goes down. Are they still a problem? Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're pretty good at the game.
Yeah, Ade comes through with the read there, but yeah, like, I mean, think about that first round on Lijiang Tower, right? Like, it was actually kind of like a blowout in favor of YFP, but then, you know, Taejun with like 2 fights back to back kept it close. So Sunjun actually, that's out. Just poking a little bit too far out. So YFP probably going to end up losing the point off of this as Shikigami. Sunjun will open things up with a Deadeye. Nice interrupt there from Luke.
Always with the javelin. My goodness. 82 uncounting for YFP, looking much better now. Orbital Ray comes up. And a perfect moment for them, but never mind. Wasn't playing within it. I don't know what Sunjun is supposed to do there. Just die, I guess. And this will be YFP in a position to take this flashpoint away because the stagger is immense for Shikigami.
Yeah, I mean, so see here, Luca pushes forward, the rally going, not able to finish off that final kill here. Is who do you have left here? As nope, doesn't seem like you have enough players. It looked like maybe you have your Tracer, but Taejun decides not to go back and try and fight that. They actually end up Taejun and Onion dipping out of there, so not worth fighting. As Sunjun will actually play the Ash, so playing that Genji, maybe you see if you can actually land some of those dynamites, put some more healing pressure on the opponents here.
Okay. One apiece here in flashpoints. Taejun getting taken down, aren't able to find the head here. And with a Deadeye available now to surround this corner with that speed boost. I think he thought about it, but maybe realized it wasn't necessary. Just as well, Terra Surge came out there. Luca trying to make a little bit of space now, trying to catch on towards that Juno. Shikigami again getting off to a good start, but we've seen that already from them.
Yeah, Onion with a nice dodge there, and then just drops the orbital ray, so able to end up getting that fight win here. So YFP, we'll see how they bounce back as the Ash I don't think was like a, you know, extremely impactful in that fight, right? But I think these dynamites just, you know, expending the healing resources time and time again could be just a little bit annoying. I mean,
okay. All right, that's fine. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
look, again, these pulses are so unexpected that like it's just hard for our obs to catch them as well. They're just coming out of absolutely nowhere. So this is good. Again, Shikigami exploit that advantage they get. They win that first fight out. They sort of have Luca, you know, throwing that Terra Surge down out in the open and then getting, again, Brig is the ideal target for that pulse bomb. Get it in there, really slow up any more generation of those rallies. There is going to be an orbital ray though from Skier, so Shikigami have their work cut out for them in this fight. But they're going to push up early here. A lot of damage on Solo, but Ade's already missing. That's the lion's share of the damage for YFP, not an option anymore.
yes, Solo actually just runs directly behind the Bob. They throw the Bob in, and you know, obviously does a, you know, a decent amount of damage on the knockup. But then Solo is there with the Bob to finish some of these players off as Luke will get Sunjun just on the exit here. So that'll be another point there for Shikigami as they go up 2-1. I mean, opportunity to go up 2-0 in the series. That'd be massive.
That is big, and this time at least they convert off of a strong start, and they finish the job beautifully. Also, like, they have a chance to match Juno ultimates now as well, heading over to this fourth flashpoint. See how they want to play it out? They can afford to sort of play neutral. They have time. They have like 12 more seconds, but more. Okay, Sonjun picked up there by a javelin. Unclear where that one came from, but does leave YFP at a player advantage moving up.
Yeah, now you know, gives them a little bit of breathing room, right? It felt like maybe getting a little bit out of control there for YFP. You know, everything's starting to go in favor of Shikigami. Now that early pickoff gives them an opportunity. Okay, let's fall back. We can get point. You know, we have a good suite of ultimates here. Maybe you can take this flashpoint.
Yeah, Blade, never mind here. I mean, again, here we go. So okay, Shikigami gonna let go of the orbital ray first here, and it's harder getting caught up straight away. They're so good if they can stay alive a little bit longer, but Skier with some torpedo connection. Must have been a lot of low health targets there, but it's Solo who again emerges out of a Terra Surge victorious. Luke is not getting out of this one. I like the javelin spin there to keep Sonjun alive as well. Classy stuff for Shikigami as they get back in.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Solo doing a great job just kind of protecting the Ash on the team, right? You know, so Luca was chasing him down. Oh, that is a headshot. That is a javelin, then a headshot there on the Ade. So that's an early pickup. That's going to give them some more percentage. I mean, this is quite good now for Shikigami. And to remind you, they just need this flashpoint, and this map's over. And I mean, Taejun now on another flank with a pulse bomb.
This time Ade, though, wise to it. Taejun really wanted to secure that, I guess, with a bit of early damage. But they'll hold on a bit later. That Damocles sword of the Taejun pulse bomb still looms large. And now 64 plays 40. YFP at this rate, this is their last chance. Javelin for Solo. Here comes the bomb onto the point now, and that's going to be a concern. Yep, forcing YFP back. This is going to cause the pressure to mount. They are giving capture progress up each second, but Sunjun low, solo as well. Graveyard now tries to come with a Kitsune rush, but they don't have enough time to throw that healing down. Anian obviously not in a position to really assist in that regard, so without a reset, Shikigami might just pack it up.
Oh, they have to. I mean, there's no way you can do that there. As the Kitsune rush, I mean, that's where you see like, that was a rally, right? You may be able to kind of keep your Orisa alive, but Kitsune rush just not as impactful of like a defensive cooldown, so to speak. As I know you will have a Bob here for YFP, so potentially for them to flip this and end up taking this flashpoint, send us to a final flashpoint on the map as Shikigami probably going to go aggressive behind this orbital ray.
All right, it's a bolt this time though from YFP. The little stage we're going to play from here, and Graveyard is taken down by the Terror Surge. YFP are far from done here. Orbital ray thrown in, and Anions just didn't get the value. Taejong does well, but not well enough apparently. Shikigami let that one slip, and we're going to go to a decider flashpoint.
Yeah, it's an orbital ray that comes in from Skier there, and then it's the orbital ray plus Terror Surge combination. Shikigami is in so deep trying to follow up there. Orbital ray is you end up seeing YFP, Luca specifically, coming out with some huge kills there towards the end. Is final flashpoint. Sunjun gets control of this high ground right away as you see Nevermind wants to contest.
Sunjun there. Again, just wants to try and pressure that Genji down to sort of medium range. Deny easy ult generation. Nevermind already with a blade available though. Taejong had used that pulse earlier. This time, somehow I didn't connect. They've been eerily consistent with those thus far. And here's that blade for Nevermind. Now, where does it go? Straight in Sunjun's direction. And they get away from it. Beautiful from Anion. Great response. Pulsar torpedoes come and deal with the Genji. And Shikigami, they're still in this. Again, they start well on these flashpoints. It's a matter of landing the plane and getting themselves to a 2-0 lead in the series.
Yeah, that's the blade used there for YFP that does not come up with much of anything now as Taejong can get control of this high ground. Sunjun here on the high ground of the Ash can be really difficult to deal with. I mean, there's no way you can have like Nevermind go over and try and fight him, right? That's where you would have an advantage of having the Kiri, right? In that type of situation, but Luca just domes him from range. I guess it doesn't really matter.
So I'm more than happy to give some ground. Sorry, have a nice day. Understood. Eventually, they're always going to have to fight for it. Kitsune rush now. Graveyard needs to get healing value out of this, but Orbital Ray does mean that Shikigami should be well protected. Arde's down. Graveyard able to find him with a kunai, just throwing those right clicks in. It's going to be tough for YFP to fight back into this now, and that is more of a cosmetic Terror Surge. I do enjoy those, but here you might be looking for something with a bit more impact. Luca forced to wait here, and YFP trying to reset quickly, otherwise the map will be lost.
Yeah, that's a nice spot there from Sunjun. That kind of crosses over the point, right? Able to put down some serious fire on the opponents as they can't have anybody get staggered, and they lose Skier. Are they going to lose Hinge as well? As Hinge trying to get to the point?
Ooh, big touch. Okay. Gone overtime. That's exactly what he was looking for. All right. Nobody flame him in the chat. He did his job, but Shikigami get the map. Okay. Wow, we have some scrappy games today, and I might be using that in the pejorative sense here, folks. I just want to let you know that was. Look at me. I look manic. I look like I've been locked up in my attic for 7 days trying to piece together a very complex murder mystery.
I mean, maybe you have. We don't know. But no, for this series, I mean, just absolute back and forth. It did feel like, though, that Shikigami had control for a lot of the map. Like, even it's like really odd. It almost feels like map 1, right? Where like it is back and forth, but it always felt like I always thought that Shikigami would kind of win that with the way things were looking, right? YFP did a great job of seeing their advantages and taking advantage of those when they had openings, right? But I felt like even in a lot of the neutrals, I feel like Shikigami definitely played it quite well.
Yeah, absolutely. I would look back, I'd say they're leading in 4 out of 5 of those flashpoints, I think, to start with, like winning first fights here and there. Sometimes like you're put in a position where you have to find a way to win against an orbital ray. And it just doesn't seem like we've seen them try everything. We saw Solo like run through an orbital ray to the other side of it, try and ult to pull everyone else out. They are contorting themselves into every possible shape to try and figure out like that. Because once you have that down, you're sorted. Once you can deal with Juno ult to it, just being a literal automatic press Q to win the fight button, then you're laughing.
Yeah, I mean, it is in a lot of different scenarios, right? The Juno ultimate's extremely impactful. Another one, though, the pulse bombs from Taejong throughout the whole series. I mean, been so good, right? It feels like every time whether we're on with him or seeing in the feed, this was sick. That was actually the kill from Luca. So that's like a shot and like a spear directly into the wall. I mean, that is nuts from the reset range, but no, really back and forth type of game here. This is Skier ends up using this a little bit later, right? So Onion opens up the point with the orbital ray a little bit later. One from Skier, Terror Surge combination there from Luca, connects with 2. That was quite nice. But yeah, like you mentioned, Shikigami seems to get a little bit of a lead at the beginning of each of these flashpoints, and I know YFP puts himself in a tough spot to battle back.
I think like Graveyard, popping the Kitsune Rush in defensive situations, it's a lot, right? Obviously, your healing output does get increased as Kiriko on the virtue of you just having haste. But it didn't seem like it was always enough. I think that last fight, they literally had Kitsune Rush and the Orbital Ray like combined. At that point, you can't lose. Sorry, I just think you're going to win that sort of 9 times out of 10. So, break time. We're going to be back with map number 3. It's 2-0 for Shikigami, threatening to eliminate YFP from the tournament. What's it going to be, YFP? It's going to be one of them close 3-0s, the ones we say, oh, well, look, the scoreboard doesn't really tell the whole story, or are you going to give us a little bit more action here in this series? They choose Suravasa, Matt, and it's close. We go all the way to 5 flashpoints, and frankly, compelling gameplay. These two teams, with these Orisa comps, are on a similar level. I really do feel like, YFP have been impressing so far. However, can't turn that impressive result into dubs in that column, then we've got a problem.
Right. I mean, they are equally matched in these compositions, at least it looks like thus far. But you always come out on the losing end of it, at least. So it'll be Gibraltar. So this tells you that YFP is like, what, screw it. Let's try something else, right? Maybe we see a little bit of a Winston setup.
Huh. Okay, Gibraltar pick is interesting. So we did not get to see this in the Toronto series because there weren't enough maps because they got 3-0'd. I guess they just opted for... YP opted for Suravasa and then Runasapi. Gibraltar is what they want instead. So is it like, do they know whether Shikigami have that like long range hit scan pressure? I think we saw Gibraltar played. Shikigami got full held by the Lenny team, right? Not the Danny team when they played. Just to make that very clear to you. So I don't know what to make of this. Maybe we will at least see these teams go away, place at Winston. Bit of a refresher, bit of a mix up for us.
Yeah, it would be fun to see some Winston playing, right? You have an opportunity to see, Onion play potentially Ama. So it'll be Mary. She'll come in here for solo. So change up in terms of the tank.
All right, happy to see that. And yeah, that is definitely telling me that we're going to be looking at some dive here. Glad to see it.
Jutsu, we saw play for YFP last week, plays the Widowmaker. Really high level. So we'll see Jutsu come in here. for Neverminds. Potentially some Widowmaker action here on Gibraltar.
Okay, I'm here for this. This is such a great pinch hitting map. You know, you're down 0-2 in the series. Need to find something to keep you going. Going over to Gibraltar seems a good choice. Shikigami didn't choose this map when they played against Toronto. So that wasn't really like where they were trying to take the series. Maybe they have a D.Va-based composition. We might not see Winston. I feel like Winston, in general, has been able to give teams that greater level of success, but already looking over the comps here, it's going to be Sunjun on the Widowmaker.
Yeah, this will be an awesome Widowmaker battle between these two. Some fantastic shots we've seen from them. In the last week and then also in the past. So, Mary, she played the D.Va here to kick things off as control some of that high ground as Shikigami's on defense.
Attackers incoming.
All right, eyes on Jutsu here. Subbed in for the Widow. Big shoes to fill. Expectations heavy on the shoulders. It's going to be a YFP, of course, with that attacking Winston composition.
And then, some of these play out really slow, right? You're just kind of like working for these Widow picks. Oh, Taejong gets behind. I mean, Jutsu doesn't even have an opportunity to react there.
I mean, Taejong, sees the player subbed in. They know that Jutsu's a Widowmaker player. So they just stand in the place that Widow usually goes to.
Hey, I have a good idea where they're going to be. And then, what do you also think about the D.Va versus Winston battle? Like, it feels like D.Va still has a little bit of like a head-to-head.
I mean, Shikigami don't have to full commit, Matt. That's the point. So, that's great for D.Va. She wants to go high, wants to go low, she wants to peel. The Widow sits up there. Defensively, I think it's great. Hardy actually, making the switch to the Tracer themselves here. Sunjun hears the clippity clop. Those stilettos.
Doesn't know exactly from where, now it does.
All right, Luca comes to call here. Mary, you'd think will eventually circle back, but she's also rattling the cage on the YFP side of the map. Jutsu constantly just traumatized by the sound of Tracer blinks as they are circling, converging on their location. Here comes the pressure again. They have to play the Brig, by the way, alongside the Widow, which is actually pretty rough for the Winston. You also can't farm like free healing off the enemy D.Va.
Yes, going to use the defense matrix here just to get Taejong some healing at range as no more health packs available as slowly we've got a little bit of a move here for YFP, but man, yet again, Taejong on the Tracer has been phenomenal today.
And there's a sense that Shikigami know at all times where Jutsu is playing. Taejong constantly keeping tabs on it. An uncharacteristic mispulse, Jutsu. That is, well, that's the game, folks. Mary goes upstairs, ends up dealing with the Widow. Still, though, Luca sat on the cart, looking pretty threatening, generating a lot of aura. Speaking of auras, here's Rally. And Hinge is going to go down sort of in the midst of that. This is horrible for YFP. Let me just give it to you straight.
This is brutal as well when you play the Widow and like nothing happens for so long. Because you're at a minute 30 on the clock. I mean, this is going to be in for a sight. This is going to burn another, 10, 15, seconds or so. And then now Jutsu has to play the Cassie, so can't even play the Widow. It's going to be like Sunjun with a really long
You're subbed in to play Widow! You're Cassidy! You know things are going wrong for you at that point.
Well, I think it's more because the Tracer is just being such a... you can't do anything with Taejong playing this well. I mean...
They have Nano Winston, YFP. And a Pulse Bomb as well that they can definitely try and use to take Mary out of the action. I mean, she's doing great damage to Luca, though, and in a position that's a little bit hard to contest. Based in selection as well, of course. Here it is, Nano over towards Luca now. Mary just trying to eat up that. Oh, there it is! My goodness! Seen that one before. Quite a few times over the last 8 years. Double pulse kill. That was a Nano Winston that just got blown to smithereens.
Yeah, now we're at 37 seconds. Now we get a Genji in the mix, right? So let's see how this works out. It's 30 seconds. I mean, this has just been dominance from Shikigami, and really, I mean, Taejong every fight has come up with something big, right? We haven't really even seen the Widows like really pop off, have these moments. It's really just been, everybody kind of playing around, trying to force the Widowmakers into different positions, and then, at least for Shikigami, the Tracer going ham.
All right, Luca, always under pressure. 10 seconds left in the round here for YFP to make something happen on their map pick. It was the Hail Mary. Okay, Luca can't even touch the car. He's not allowed to. Nice in on my graveyard. Now he'll be chased down, though. Not exactly where Brig wants to be, but can farm a bit of healing off the Winston pushing you. Luca swatting. Right now it flies. And Onion not quite able to get away. No point sort of going for a raid. That would be ridiculous. So she is fell. Now the rest of Shikigami with 4 have to make this work. That might just be a little too much. Luca down, though another pulse is good, but Ade getting in there. Finds 2 kills on the Genji. Mary back on the cart now. Anion could return to this fight with an orbital ray here, but it won't be enough to save the mech of the Diva. Better save for later.
Yeah, but I still feel like you kind of accomplished a lot, right? I know you end up getting first point into OT, almost a tremendous play from Taejung there at the end. If Mary would have had like a self-destruct, right, and she could have gotten a mech back, I think they would have. I think they would have fought that. I think they would have went for it. But now we'll see. Actually, Sunshine going to go over to Mei. So Mei Tracer with a Diva. So a little bit of an interesting setup here. You know, typically teams want to control this high ground, like a hit scan, right? Historically, that's been like the strongest point here. You know, not the case with these teams.
I was talking about it on Suravasa, not on Gibraltar, Sunjun. Still, plenty of opportunity. You're up against like an Ana and a Cassidy composition, so not hypermobile. Outside of that little dive element of the Genji and that Winston. You also have like an orbital ray up now as well. You do want to play a little bit around your Diva if you can. Mary here just wants to try and control the high ground. And again, the main really punishes like overcommitments inside the shuttle here. Stun off the rally. It's enough. Graveyard, beautiful follow with the whip shot. Ane has nowhere to be. That's a wall. May's pretty good.
That's nano blade too. I mean, that is a nano blade that just gets like whip shot away. Everybody dies here. You're gonna stagger out the Genji. I mean,
don't worry, Ade doesn't need those ankles anyway. Apparently,
just not able to make it out. And I mean, we're below a minute already. I mean, YFP. I mean, this is it's been difficult to make work here. You know, some nice substitutions obviously for Shikigami, bringing in Mary to play the Diva. Really, just the flexibility of the DPS really showing out.
There's that Mei wall blizzard as well. The roll for Jutsu is in slightly the wrong direction. He rolls into the wall. I think if he rolls directly out of the blizzard, he's fine there. Hinch does well to trade that, and Mary's actually with a Bionade, so, well, Taejong saves the day, as per usual. Okay. But guess what? The cart, it's moving in the wrong direction if you're a Shikigami fan. Luca eventually has to get off of it. Now 30 seconds again remain in the round.
Yeah, it's not going to be enough, though, to get over the line, right? So we'll have another fight here. Another opportunity for YFP to potentially get this one over the line as Jutsu will end up having a Deadeye. Comes in to play the Widow, but, you know, really early on. I mean, it's just the pressure from the Tracer. Taejong just going ham.
Everyone's got a Widow pinch hitter until they get hit in the face by the Tracer. Yeah, and everyone's a Cassidy player after that. Upstairs goes Luca. Primal is there. A lot of disruption potential available for YFP in this fight. That's a Deadeye from Jutsu. Good sight line, but not much to be seeing here. Shot goes into the shield of Graveyard, who can't get away quickly enough. That comes in Luca. Primal now activated as that was a bio on Sonjun. Now Luca can start to get in the thick of things properly with this Primal Rage. It'll be another YFP fight win. Again, at the 11th hour.
Yeah, this is still putting Shikigami for their offense in a pretty good position in terms of time bank. Maybe you see these players, I was going to say, go back to Widow now, so Sunjun will bring the Widow back out as, I know, this final point. I mean, this is, you know, it feels like it's designed for Widowmaker the way it is.
I mean, absolutely. So open. Also, again, I think Ana's a pretty juicy target if you're here on this Widow. I wouldn't say it's easy, though, considering the composition that Sonjun has to play into, but this is where Jutsu can maybe show us why they're here. Here goes Merrick. Little knock back here. Get the Brig out of effective rangeful healing. I don't know how Graveyard's alive. Somehow saved by the bell.
Yeah, Graveyard's had a few of those where it gets extremely close to death. It feels like maybe, are you playing around the getting on? It barely even saw the head there of Skier. It seemed like they were playing for the Nano Blade. Ade was working to, you know, just poking a build up towards that blade, but just waiting a little bit too long, maybe. That was
sorry, I just had to re-upload my entire Menta lexicon from a nearby copy of the Merriam-Webster so I can actually continue talking. Taejong here. Again, a position to really derail this last fight for YFP with a pulse. Just fight Jutsu! Just give him a slap! Now into spawn! He gets the stick as well! Not much this guy can't do! Shikigami with the imports, hit a little different, not gonna lie. Orbital Ray here. Pretty unnecessary, honestly. They're already dead. As Luca goes down to a self-destruct. I haven't seen that in a while. YFP will be stopped in their tracks here at the last corner of the map.
And they're playing for that Nano Blade for a while, and they never actually even get to use the Nano. Don't get it on Ade, don't get on to Luca, so not able to get a good any use of the Nano there. So YFP with some late heroics, right? Able to take that first 2 checkpoints. We'll see now if they can hold on defense. Stage 4 OWCS season on the line.
We'll point out here, it's a little more challenging for the attacking Tracer to pressure that defending Widowmaker just because of the map. There's some wide gaps, there's high ground, right? So in theory, and this is an asterisk, but YFP have one next to their name as well, so I don't feel like I'm taking liberties here. Jutsu in theory can have some slightly safer sidelines to play from, but going up against attacking Widow is a little bit scary because you don't really know where she's going to come from, and normally your position is known and noted and you know, exploited. So just a little thing.
Yeah, potentially. What's your current you know, thoughts here with Ade on defense going with the Genji? So not going to have a Tracer in the mix. So I'll actually keep the Ana. So on a Brig for YFP.
It's a problem. I think it's a problem if Shikigami are going to play Brig with the Widow, but I don't know if that's really something they're going to be looking to do. In that case, it's like Genji sort of has to commit, and if he doesn't know there's a Brig there, it's like a little dicey. That's obviously only on the first discovery. Outside of that, I just think we might not see them directly try and pressure Sonjun out as often.
But that scares me a little bit.
Yes,
you know, not putting the pressure onto the Widow with you know, another player other than, you know, kind of your own Widow, because Luca now is over on Diva. So Luca was playing that no, Winston, now playing Diva. So
you can at least play off, like, if Jutsu hits body shots onto Sonjun, you can like dash across that bridge because you play that bridge room as Genji and try and finish off the Widow really quickly. But playing at this range, right, Sonjun is not really heavily pressured at all, and that's not free damage on towards the Diva there.
Yeah, I also feel like, you know, playing the Genji into the Brig's a lot tougher, right?
Nice.
As Luca goes in deep, actually gets Sonjun, so huge start here.
That is really nice. Like, I don't know if Ade is really there at the time either. Still, they're like full commit now. Something obviously the Genji is going to offer you. Beautiful dive. I mean, that seems so risky. He crossed so much of the map to go after that Widow. You have to basically commit your whole team at that point.
Yeah, and you can only really do that playing the Ana, right? You couldn't do that like if you're going to end up trying to play, you know, Juno there in the mix. Ana gets to about half HP, pushed back there by Mary. So see if they can get back to the payload, start to get it moving. So it looks like a few players here trying to get the payload under the bridge.
2:45 to play. Sonjun has not found a significant inroad here. Nor have the rest of Shikigami. Taejon got caught there by Ade. Sonjun has to know that Luke is going to be looking for them here, but he's taking a risk in this positioning, looking for a Widow. Jutsu is playing very passive.
Yeah, yes, extremely. I mean, not poking the Widow really at all.
Okay.
Jump shot there from Jutsu. That is a nice one.
We see that because we have the wireframe. I don't think you see that if you're Sonjun there. There's just too much going on.
No, I don't think you had any. I mean, you have an idea of, obviously it was a grapple shot, but you don't really, not able to really see from where. I mean, just a sliver of his body's around the corner.
All right, let's try this again. 2 minutes left in the round for Shikigami. Orbit array here, not quite the shock and awe fight winning automatic ultimate that it would be in other cases, given how spread Shikigami are playing by design. Oh, there's an opportunity there. Taejong knows as well. Ade gets within a hair's breadth of getting rid of that Tracer again. It's been tough for Taejong. Navigating the map here is this Tracer. Good response there. I like the peel, but elsewhere, Luca just 1v1 Sonjun as far as we can tell. And the Mary's going to be stunned up, slapped on that high ground. Finally, Jutsu is down. The Tracer finds their mark. Can you turn this into more, though? Luca low, a D-suit here would be massive. A D-suit here could be a checkpoint. And now Luca realizes the mega health pack was tantalizingly out of grip.
Nano Blade here, though, as Ade will get one, seeing if he can connect with another player coming off the spawn. Doesn't want to chase on in.
The Greek kill is big here. I mean, there's a venture in the game right now. Sonjun switching off the Widow. So I guess they're full committing onto the server room here. They're just opting out of the Widow duel entirely. Jutsu does have infosight, so I suppose that's fair, but I'd be fearing the heck out of this Widow. Look at the defensive layers here. Even an old woman thrown in front of the Widow to protect her. Yeah, they're serious.
They also know for Shikigami that this, you know, fight's going to take place over the point, right? They don't necessarily need some of that high ground. As look at this, Sonjun goes up there, scary for a second. The Widow looks to dodge at the
What is the
moment.
plan
I don't know
here?
what the plan is now.
Right. Well, Onion gets picked up by Jutsu. Still no pressure on that Widow. That's the issue here. Sunjun. Okay, we're gonna take the front door. I like that. Okay, little zoning. Onion falls to a self-destruct. Okay. On the car, 1.71 meters. Pressure now being put down on the Diva. Ah, there it is. Jutsu. What a shot. Oh my goodness, they're out from that side door and out up to the high ground with 5 seconds left in the round. And I think Shikigami are cooked. The map pick for YFP, the Gambit, it pays off after what looked like a rough attack side. They've gone for the full hold here in defense, and by golly, they've got it done.
Yeah, Jutsu able to play that Widowmaker the entire time on D. Definitely pays off. Looking phenomenal. Sunjin definitely did not want to take that battle. It felt like after a while as we saw the switch come in, and the Widowmaker for YFP keeps them in it.
I feel like the gif of who's the WWE commissioner, where it keeps panning back to his face and he looks more and more excited about what he's seeing. They're like
who? Like Triple H or
no, the guy who's in charge, the old guy.
What, Vince? I mean, that guy?
Yeah, Vince McMahon. We're like cut
okay.
back to him and he's getting like more and more elated by what he's seeing. That was me over the course of that last round.
You haven't watched WWE in a while then. I mean, if you still think he's a commissioner, you got a lot to catch up on. But
no, man. Overwatch Overwatch Esports is WWE enough for me, man. I don't know how anyone has time for both of that in their lives. YFP with a pick of Gibraltar with a substitution. Jutsu comes in, gets bodied in the first round, switches off the Widow to Cassidy because of this. This is kind of
dude, he was still sick on the Tracer. I mean, if you're a Shikigami, just pick a map that you can play Tracer on. I mean, at this point, right? I mean, Tracer's been so good on that hero throughout the entirety of the series so far. Is honestly, it was some like late second heroics that kept YFP's offense rolling, right? It was not awesome by any means, but they keep it going, and it ends up kind of working out in the end, right? They get a full hold there.
Yeah, beautifully done. I honestly thought that it's very, very difficult to get Taejong's Tracer in position to chase down Jutsu. Like we kind of mentioned, they had a lot of space.
We see some of the more highlights. It's like the jump shot there. I mean, the adjustment mid-air. I mean, being able to connect on that. This is the Nano Blade. I don't believe it gets a ton. I believe they just get like one with it, and then also kind of pushes Onion out, so maybe makes an impact there. And here's the end of the game. I mean, Jutsu just able to turn these corners. I mean, just 6 shots.
Yeah, this is perfect. And I mean, this has to happen here. Jutsu's in like a 2v4, I think. The Ana is down there in the low ground. I think the Diva was stalling out there, but yeah, it could have been rough.
Shikigami dominates in all stats across the board, right? Ends up losing the map. You just see how dragged out this is here for YFP, right? Fights constantly that don't go their way. They get in OT on point 1. They get in OT on point 2. They don't get the entire completion of the map. They just get around that first corner.
Yeah.
But their defense getting that first hold really behind the back of Jutsu's Widowmaker.
Yeah, beautifully done for YFP. This is, I mean, again, we now don't have to go to the end of the game and be like, wow, 3-0, but it was competitive. Do you know what I mean? Nice to see Gibraltar thrown in, and that map still fulfills its role as like a curveball to throw against a team when you're sort of losing consecutive maps. You need to find a way out, which I kind of quite happy because it's such a well, not a specialist map, but it requires such a departure from the style of most of these maps where you can get away with going for the Brawl style, going for the Arisacom. I'm going to just give it to you straight at home. We're probably going to be heading back to that kind of map now that Shikigami have their selection.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, it's like one of what you think that like Junkertown, obviously you can force a different style of play, right? Gibraltar as well.
Could play.
Those are like the 2 in the pool.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Those are the glaring ones, right? The really wide expanses. You could like pick Esperanza here. Shikigami have gone for that push map in the past. Obviously, we also have hybrid available as well if they want to play that sort of brawl style. King's Row is always a safe bet. I don't know if they want to get into a situation in like on a Blizzard World map. They have Mary obviously in the lineup, so like there's the Diva option there for them, but
so if you wanted to keep Mary in the lineup and play Diva, it would probably be like Blizzard World or King's Row. If you wanted to go back to Rush, it's probably Runesabi. That would probably be how this kind of plays out. But we did see a team play Hanahook earlier. So Who knows? Obviously, no clash in the mix now.
Yeah, get that out of here. We're good. We already saw our flashpoint maps, of course. Yeah, so like if you're wanting to play a pitch battle, you can also take us to Runasapi as well. Feels like a pretty. If you feel like you have the better Orisa comp, I don't know. It actually feels like a map right now where if you have the best like default comp, then you go to a map like that because.
Yeah. Do you think it's also a discussion where if you, let's say, you pick Runasapi, right? And you go with like a, rush style and you end up losing it, right? Like Blizzard World and King's Row, you would think you probably have to play like Diva on and maybe you don't feel as comfortable there. Do you try and get one of those out of the way? And then if you lose that, you at least have the rush on push to fall back on.
Playing the long game? Or long game
play a little safety long game.
Yes. I mean, who says you can't play Orisa on Midtown?
No, I think you can. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's also another
the hybrid map
thing. Yeah. I mean, it's not like the best outcome, right? So seeing Solo come in here now for Merit tells me that this is going to be Orisa Fest, right? And you also have Lambit coming in for Sunjin, so maybe there's no hit scan here. We'll see what map this is.
Just played Genji when they got subbed in last time. They were subbed in against Toronto, if I'm not mistaken.
Runasapi. Yeah, so this is this seems to be like, if you gave teams the option, I think we would play Lijiang Tower every series and we'd play Runasapi every series. And then everything else would probably change around a little bit. But
so I think Lampard plays Echo as well. But yeah, okay, look, I'm not surprised to see Runasapi. Yeah, I feel like if you
opportunity to play Mei potentially.
Genji. Oh wait, no. Don't these guys play Genji Tracer? In some comps?
Yeah, you can play Genji Tracer here, right? I mean,
that's what we've seen from them.
It's that though Orisa, Juno, Rig very strong here, right? No, you can kind of the only one like you'd probably toss down, like you're not really gonna see far here on Runasapi, right? But like any of the flankers you're pretty good with, right? And then nothing to really worry about there.
Okay. Right, so Runasapi is going to give us probably like the most pitched battle that you get on a push style map here. Generally, like if we're expecting to see those Orisa based comps, I do think that like once you get that first checkpoint, if you have a composition that is able to take that high ground away from the defenders, you can snowball this map. Like you can really get out of control after that area. But we've seen teams do it with the Ramatra Mei comps because you hide your Mei up there and like you like blizzard them while they're on the high ground and try and win there. Without that, maybe you don't feel like that's nearly as safe to try and play forward like that, and then you just sit down and get poked on the low ground. But it's a tough pill to swallow. You're just saying, oh, we got the checkpoint. Oh, there are bubbles on a balcony. But that is push for you. Say on Colosseo. Happens everywhere.
But even the last series, right? First fight here, we saw like 70-something meters, 76 meters right off the rip.
Yeah.
And we'll see how both teams want to come out and play it. Whether they want to play, maybe it's like Taejung's been so good. I mean, why not just continue to play Tracer? There's no reason not to, right?
This map's good. The flank angles are quite reasonable here. And like we mentioned, we're not contending with like oppressive levels of high ground. And even on Colosseo, that's like a really popular Tracer map anyway. So we'll see if that's what we get.
Potential. Okay, so potential here for Shikigami to play Cassidy Genji. So Faye Lampin, like you mentioned, comes in to play the Genji here. Then Taejung, who's been so good on Tracer, we'll get a chance to see him play Cassie, right? It's been so good when we've seen.
All right. I guess something I glossed over as well. Jutsu stays in here for YFP, so the hit scan player subbed in for Gibraltar will remain in the roster. Just Mary getting rotated out here. Again, you really want to play towards this mega health pack here, ideally. Where most teams in this sort of brawl rush style composition, God, I'm mixing all my words together now, like to set up. So it takes that early mega to deny that from anyone else who would come through after. And good frontline pressure here, though, does see Skier from YFP go down. So you've lost Cassidy, but you've got the enemy Juno.
Yeah, I think losing to Juno is going to be quite rough, right? I mean, you don't really have, much healing resources, especially if the Brig is not in the fight. So you're just relying on the health packs. As you see, Luca gets extremely low, has to use the Fortify. He's got to get out of there. Yeah, not going to be able to, though, as that's what happens when you just have that Brig healing.
It is kind of, odd that we see Brig such a staple of this comp when, in general, at the range your Orisa wants to play, you can only whip shot for healing. So, again, it's great, repair packs given over to your Genji. Like, it's obviously awesome to have Brig paired with a flanker because it's effortless healing that gives them a bit of armor as well. But, yeah, interesting call. Again, Rally is just too powerful, man. That ultimate, plus having a stun attached to it, can be conditionally in some corner cases really powerful.
Because Onion lives throughout the entire first fight and steers the first death, I mean, look at this.
Wow,
There's
so
orbital
far
ahead, right? I mean, you gotta feel like, yeah, I mean, this is a good idea. Just take advantage of it. Yeah, just
Yeah, you
walk
like
up.
checkpoints?
Yep.
Onion still fell. Jutsu with the hot hand. Able to pick her off, but yeah, checkpoint gained here, so Shikigami gonna give this ground back instantly, though. That's fine. Hope to build up some ultimates here. They've got that Terror Surge online, not far from a Deadeye either.
You're gonna get a fight mid-map. I guess the also reverse of it, right, is because Hinge is the only support that lives in the first fight for YFP. I mean, look in terms of the rally, right? Now YFP, you can make the arguments in the better spot, right? No Blade plus double support ult here.
Hey there. So, you must poo, everybody. Bear that one in mind. Yeah, I guess glossed over the fact the Graveyard doesn't even have Rally yet, so this is doubly bad for Shikigami. Yeah, very scary. YFP have done well to level up these abilities. It does come down to execution, unless it's Juno Ultimate, in which case it doesn't really matter. You can do the hokey pokey and turn around, probably still win the fight. Here we go. Deadeye deflect there for Lampert as they cross that wide expanse, but Jutsu's moving awfully fast for a guy with, well, baggy pants on.
A lot of space that he gets just off the Deadeye, right? It'll be Deadeye now on the other side.
Now, Deadeye doesn't really care about this orbital ray. Blade, though, we all care about that, I think. Ade goes in. Most of that damage goes in Solo's direction. For the durability, maybe. He goes for the Terror Surge. Matt, chalk that one up to a fight lost when you have orbital ray?
Yeah, I mean, there's, I said it was like 90%, now we're down to, 88, right? Still pretty good, probably.
It was like, Mr. President, they want to fight without orbital ray.
for the orbital ray believers out there, it's still, still pretty good. I mean, that's a brutal one. They lose, though. I mean, 4 ultimates just jumped on in there. Had an opportunity to take the lead. Now the bot deep into your territory, and guess what? Orbital rate plus Blade available here for Shikigami. I mean, this could end up in your spawn rather quickly.
There goes Lampin. Well, now it cleans up Ade pretty comfortably. He tried to climb the masonry there, but no escape from the Genji. And Onion hasn't even made use of that orbital ray yet, so that's nice. You've got a staggered situation. This is probably best case, I think, for Shikigami. If you want to ration 2 ultimates out like this, you've gotten 20% with just the Blade.
Yeah, I mean, as long as, Lambda can stay alive here, Taejung takes out Jutsu here. So this is, I mean, talk about best case scenario. I mean, this is probably whatever's better than that. I mean, now you're going to lose Ade over on the side, and you're not even forcing them to use anything. I mean, you're just kind of like running out there, just dying off the spawn.
This is like if you put Bing Chilling on ice. Shikigami are absolutely cruising now. Deadeye hit for Taejong, but crucially it's an orbital ray. Skew's almost had enough time to build theirs up. This like Onion might look to let it go soon. We're in triple digits now, folks. It's getting DEFCON 1 level bad. Here comes that orbital ray. Skew brought down pretty quickly. All right, Luca. All right.
Doing the spin.
The Munch Man comes on in. Luca's down to less than 100, but quickly topped back up. Pressure they're going to be mounting from Solo. Okay, well, does that count as a fight lost while using orbital ray, Matt? Are we chalking that up?
No, that one doesn't count. We're not paying attention to that one. We're not paying attention because before Lampet uses that blade, this is a 6-meter difference in the game. Now, as you can see at the top of your screen, it is no longer a 6-meter game. I mean, Shikigami just breaks it open. It's so important to like get checkpoint, right? Because now you just don't have to stop there, don't have to do that. Like as soon as they get there, they just start blowing into the YFP spawn, and now they're in a difficult spot. YFP, right? Half the game gone. Got to use your ultimates here. Map. It's a lot of damage.
Yep, and orbital ray wouldn't have saved you there, Skier. They do use it though, and they use the rally. God, how many support ultimates does it take to win a fight in this economy? It's brutal out there. CPI index off the charts. Well, happy to get there, but God, they have to spend so much to do so. Lampert here doesn't really have any business here being on this part of the map,
but you've lost so many players and you end up using so many ultimates. You're not going to gain any progress out of this.
They still have checkpoint off this.
and then they're just gonna come back and use Blade and win, right?
Looking very scary there. Moving up with just the Genji at his side. Jutsu's back in the game now. Another blade for Lampert. Jeez. Last time we saw that one pulled out, it got very much out of hand very quickly. He's a Deadeye straight away. Lampert, though, chases Hinge up the TP. Oh, my goodness, the pathing was nice. No chance to catch onto the Juno, though, as Jutsu is still holding that Deadeye. Are they deflecting on Taejong there? Just a normal shot, but still enough to claim the Cassidy. Classy. It's a nice look. Shikigami, they still have that big lead. They might have to concede a checkpoint here, though, if Lampert can't get out alive. And they do.
Yep, that'll be forward spawns here for YFP. It's 2 fights, 3 fights in a row now, Mitch. In scenarios where they're down in terms of the ultimate economy and maybe not in the best spot, they've been able to pull out some of these fights. They're gonna need like 2-3 more of those, though, feels like, to get back into this one. And as we're gonna go below 3 minutes on the clock, they're gonna have to back up just a little bit.
Playing that corner here against that Deadeye, you kind of have to. Little speed boost. Just take some damage on Orisa, apparently. This is going to give you some progress, though. Orisa split off. Bear that in mind. So Luca is not with the rest of their team right now. But Taejong can't kill anyone through this orbital race. It's just impossible. Are they, though? Trying to go after a brig. That is not an easy task. And that will eventually be brought down by Anion's torpedoes. This is getting out of hand now. We have a rally committed by Graveyard to kill the Orisa, apparently. The bot is actually now covering new ground, though, for YFP.
Yeah.
Shikigami can double back.
Yeah, Jutsu now is going to get out of here, right? I mean,
yeah, dead or alive.
Yeah, for a second there, it looked like he might have been able to like get a kill or two, but no, they'll deal with Jutsu now. We'll get back towards mid map. Yeah, you do end up using that rally there for Graveyard, which it looks a little bit odd, but I think though, you're almost at the point where you just can't afford, like if Shikigami just doesn't lose any fights, right? Like even if you have to overspend to win them, like just in the virtue of like the amount of distance they have to cover there in an almost impossible spot as Jutsu comes out with the Deadeye, almost finds one.
Yeah, no one's cooldown is actually really lined up with Jutsu's Deadeye. Like the deflect was late, the Javelin was a little late, but Jutsu couldn't see anyone to bring them down. And Lampert's blade ultimately does more than enough here for Shikigami. Yeah, we're headed back into the blue territory. Comfortably now, I will be threatening a map completion because that bot ain't slowing down for nothing.
Well, I don't even think they're even really, you're not even celebrating potentially a map completion. Just getting the bot this deep into YFP territory is a win in itself, right? I mean, they were like flirting in mid-map and whatnot. Now, I mean, it is a difficult spot. That's just Taejong using it, Deadeye to get a reload there.
All right, look at the Cassidy here. Taejong pretty deep in that side room.
If you're Shikigami, make this fight as long as possible. You need to get some ultimates at it. Yeah.
Can they do that much? I think YFP are wise to this. They know. They know they can't be affording to spend anything here. Shikigami say, okay, all right. You got it. You guys, you can play the game. No worries. We'll allow that much.
Oh, we got one more player here, right? Just throwing their body at the point, so that's Lampert. So now it's going to be do or die time, right? You're probably going to get back to a little bit before the checkpoint, maybe with the forward spawn here for Shikigami. You can come out and fight this a little earlier. See where they decide to fight from. It looks like with that, with that front spawn, they're going to opt to fight this one early. They got to go though, or else this bot's going to start running away.
Bot back in the middle of the map still now. Orbital Ray, means Luca's about to get turned into glue. That didn't take long. Deadeye for Jutsu though, able to cut through the healing though of the Orbital Ray. Arne with a blade here. One is good, and maybe even enough. Two would have been even better, but Hinge is going to come in and find it. So, it's an overtime run for YFP. How deep can you get?
How do you win the next fight though for YFP? It is Shikigami with Rally, Terror Search, Blade. I mean, it's a really sick combo, like all of them together. You almost are gonna have to like sacrifice one player, it would seem. Like if you kind of play like Jutsu a little bit further back here, maybe you can kind of bait them in. As looks like it'll just be hinged here on the card. As you don't have Luke back just yet. Now Luke will come back, and oh, there goes your brig. There's the rally and the blade coming on through.
Lampert, I don't know what they were looking at. They couldn't get past the Orisa, apparently. Got caught inside that Terror Surge here, but I don't think it's going to be an issue. Shikigami poised now to close the map and end the series. and they will advance from this group, knocking YFP out of the competition.
Yeah, a really competitive match between these two teams, but Shikigami, especially playing that Orisa in the head-to-head, that's where they come out on top. And I know they just get that really early lead here on push, and it is difficult to come back.
I love the winner's music. My goodness. Shikigami turning that up to 11 for us in the last few moments. Runasapi. Look, a great showing. I think, like, getting off to the races so early. God, how much of that snowballs because they kill a Juno early in that first fight? Like, it's like the butterfly effect, man.
It is brutal, right? Where, like, you look at, like, how Clash has played thus far. Like, it almost doesn't even matter who wins that first point. It's just kind of always back and forth until we end back there. Push, it's like you lose that first fight, like you're in world of trouble.
Yeah. I honestly, like, I agree with you guys. I think, Matt, you said this was a very competitive match, and I think it was very fun too. I think for me it was looking at the side of both of the DPS players, just going back and forth. I think that made it like really super fun to watch. 8, of course, and Jutsu as well from YFP. You know, although they got knocked down, but shout outs to them. It was entertaining to watch. But hey, Taejong, bro.
Yeah.
This guy.
He's a problem. I mean, he's just running
for
through
YFP,
teams
yeah.
oh yeah, he's proud for YFP. He's not a problem for Shikigami. I mean, him on the Tracer, like his pulse bomb, like it felt like every map we saw him play Tracer, like every pulse bomb hit. Like there wasn't a pulse bomb that missed. I mean, just absolutely dominant on Tracer.
I mean, look, I was really impressed. We don't see as much Tracer brought in here for a few reasons, right? Like, you really want a way to, like, you just can't let the enemy Orisa do what she wants. So, like, having Cassidy in these comps is generally quite important. And also, the Genji's really good at capitalizing on a lot of the poke damage and also capitalizing on those javelins that Orisa's hit. So if you can go in there and catch that player out when they're like, because it's like a micro stun they suffer, you know, it's a great way to get a free pick here. But this is great. This is what you need to see. Jutsu, by the way, cracking Widowmaker player. Really, really good, but
Yeah.
you don't have any space. Like, this has all been taken away by Taejong.
Yeah, but I mean, Jutsu though on the defensive half, right? I mean, this is some of the clips here. I mean, you
What
see
is
when
this?
he has
The
some
3K?
space and some time. Yeah, I mean, this is sick. And then the shot on onion here in the sky is, that's where you're like, oh, hey, maybe YP can get back into it. Is they left Jutsu in here to play some Cassidy.
And then the final match. I mean, I think this wasn't as close as the other ones, but I mean, it was still, you know, it was good.
Tell me how you really feel.
Yeah, is that like the you know, if it's a Danny Lim movie review, it's like, yeah,
It's all good.
this movie was,
Like,
this
yeah.
movie was good, just not as good as some of the other ones. It's a, you know, that definitely is gonna get me out to the theaters to see that
It was
one.
good, but not gooder than the better ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you saw that other one that was good, this one was like,
Yeah, the
kinda
other
like
ones
that,
were
but-
better.
I
This
think
one
that
was
one was
good, you
good.
know?
This one was good, Lee.
Yeah,
Kind of good-ish. The other ones are pretty good. This one
True,
was kind of
true.
good. Okay, but this guy wasn't good. It was great.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah, that's my review. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, the like, you know, this sick Tracer play, right? Tracer, we haven't seen as much in the meta, right? I know we've seen a lot of teams just kind of play like Genji and Cassidy and whatnot, but man, you know, play Tracer as much as you want, Taejong, because I mean, the pulse bombs, you know, every single time. I mean, he was on point, and then also, even without the pulse bomb, I mean, look at this, just one clips constantly.
I'm thinking that, like, you know, there is a lot to be said for like bringing in a seasoned coach from South Korea into your roster, because obviously they can scout a lot of these players, right? They can sort of bring them in. I think, but like Taejong, if I'm not mistaken, was on Pirates in Pajamas, right?
Taejong,
I thought I saw them on. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
wasn't it Old Ocean? No, wait.
I mean, these players, like,
Let me see. Let's see.
like I mentioned that Sunjin had a stint on the Seoul
Yes.
Dynasty, I think, on the bench, but these guys have played in like both of them have played in like American contenders teams before, like Timeless, Susano, and stuff like that. So like they're not just
Taejong?
like plucked out of obscurity from South Korea. Do you know what I mean? Like these guys have been around for
Yeah.
a hot minute. Yeah, guys, you
Taejong
look it
was-
up. Are you looking up the Wikipedia
Danny
page?
was
I am.
you know,
Taejong wasn't Old
I'm
Ocean
telling
with
you.
Ryu Jae-hong.
See, Danny.
No, that's Lee Taejun. That's Lee Taejun.
No. Old Ocean,
Danny's
bro.
right. Danny's right.
He
What
was
are
on
you
Seoul
talking
Dynasty,
about?
Are you questioning Danny Lim?
I hate you guys.
Hey, are you questioning Liquipedia?
Because every time Matt goes in Taejun, I'm thinking Lee Taejun, like the.
That's
like
Taejun. This is
like
Taejong.
lunatic vibe.
Taejong with the
Yeah,
G.
yeah. Okay. Okay, but you're calling Ade Aid, not to be confused with Aid, the teammate of Roki on that
Is it Ade, not Aid?
Yeah, it's Ade, yeah.
Are you sure?
Oh, you should ask him. But he, I mean,
I apologize for these two. You know, they're just this. I don't even know what they're even talking about at this point.
I just wanted to say Roki's name on a broadcast.
Don't we got
honestly.
some?
That's
don't
all
we
I
got some
want to do.
sick clips of the day. Don't we?
Yeah,
got
what
some- what are we doing, Danny?
We just
What are we
had
doing?
them.
Okay, fine. We'll talk about this later. Take a look at the NA Group A brackets, I
like
think,
brackets.
is
All right,
the
let's do
first
that.
thing that we're going to do.
What? You have Liquipedia and the Runner Show open, Danny. How hard is it? Just tell me.
No,
It is pretty
production
hard.
was talking to me, and then I was just busy searching for Liquipedia, so I didn't hear what they were saying. Sorry.
Unreal respect, honestly.
Shikigami not able to get past Toronto, but they still
They're
make
back.
it out of the group. Yeah, they
Yep.
still take care of business against YFP. I know YFP put up a good fight, but Shikigami in the end. That'll be a team that'll be really interesting as we head into the main event.
Yeah.
Genuinely, like we were sort of looking at this team as like an outsider, maybe could sneak in, you know, out of groups. Now, like I'm excited for them. Also, like with the coaching staff that they have, like there's a genuine runway for this team. Like I want to point out that, like, you know, they have 2 import slots that they have made use of. In theory, I'm assuming that like both Taejun and Sonjun are, you know, considered as South Korean nationals for those purposes. But this team is great. I love the flexibility at tank as well. Be able to rotate Solo and Mary as well in and out.
Group A was definitely exciting, I think. A lot to look forward to for tomorrow's more. We got more decider match, but for now, we have a special interview. I'm hearing solo interview. I'm guessing that's me. They didn't really clarify who I'm talking to. I'm guessing it's Taejong.
Yeah, bro. Danny, come on.
Oh, Solo!
Yes, I'm here.
You know, okay. No, I gotta say something. When production said Solo, I didn't think about you. I thought it was a Korean player because we were talking
Oh my
about
God.
maybe having a Korean player. So like, Danny, can you do a
Yeah.
solo? And this was before. And then now I was just seeing solo interview. I was like, solo
I thought about
interview
you,
with who?
solo.
I was like,
Oh, why is our producer apologizing to you, bro?
no, it's I know. I want to say
He was
solo.
just
No,
playing.
I should be
He just saw
apologizing.
full
Solo.
maps of
I am
Solo
so
playing.
sorry. It's not. Yeah, it's
It's alright.
not important. Solo. Big congratulations on getting this
Thank
win.
you.
I mean, of course, you guys really needed this win to survive. Was there anything sort of that you guys like did it specifically for this match in order to like clutch out the win?
We just look to play faster. I think a lot of what this comp is good at is just like the tempo and the ult cycles. So usually if you just keep on going first and making the other team react to what you're doing, it makes it really, really easy.
Did you feel like that? I mean, coming out of like the first fight on Runasapi, like you get an early Juno kill, and Anion is coming into like that next fight like already with ult. At that point, are you like, oh, we're gonna snowball this? Like this is.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Yeah, so when you win the fight that early and you get the ult advantage, especially because it was like a drawn out fight and we didn't get the pick straight away, so we were able to build, and it just kind of snowballed the rest of the map, I think.
Yeah.
Taejung on the Tracer. Crazy series out of him. How fun is it to play with a player like that who, I mean, you felt like his attach rate was like 100.
Yeah, no, it's awesome to play with these. You guys were saying earlier, they are imports, and it's really fun. Just to play with, because I've never played with players from other regions before, so it's interesting to see kind of how they think about the game and kind of implement it into how we play more in NA. And of course, everyone on my team, they're just very good mechanically. So when you have a beast on Tracer, it's awesome.
Are there any like communications issue? Because you guys both, Taejong and Sunjun, I don't know how good their English is. So when you're in game and sort of trying to communicate, are there any issues, or are you guys okay?
There can be issues at times. I think for the most part, there is that separation between Overwatch English and like English. So what is it? Taejong in particular had played in PIP in the past, so he would have had some experience there. Sungjun, I think. His English is still good. I think he struggles a little bit more, but we still get the essentials down.
All right.
Hey, just
I mean,
shout heroes. Go.
shout heroes.
Yeah.
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 There you go.
What is up? I'm guessing how that's goes. Anyway, so
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the interview, and big congratulations again. Hope to see you more in the main event. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for having me.